we started in a real strong way, pushed the game. We created a lot of chances, which is something that we feel very good about. And when we needed then to finish the game out, we kept going. The third goal was hard to get tonight, man. We had a bunch of chances when it was 2-0 to get to 3, but I'm still very proud of the effort tonight. A lot of guys with really good games. I thought Latif in the midfield tonight brought a real lot of energy to go with the good play of Mark and Edward. Continued really good play by Diego. Brian worked real hard and got rewarded with a goal late. So in those ways, I feel like it was a good effort. Kenneth made a big save at 2-1. That's a fantastic thing for the group.
First question is going to go to Scott French. Scott, your line's open. Go ahead.
Hey, Bob. A really excellent outing for you guys. I suppose the only thing that you'd look at and say, oh, we could have been better at that is finishing it off a little earlier. But can you talk a little bit about what you did defensively? I thought this was the best defensive game we've seen from you in this tournament.
We went about it the same way we always do. I think the focus was really good tonight. I think the reactions were at a high level. I thought the back line in different situations was connected and handled those things well. So we don't change the part on how we play, but I think when we lost balls, our reactions and our ability to control situations, that part was the best it's been.
Next question goes to Felipe Cardenas. Your line is open. Go ahead.
Good evening, Bob.
How are you, Felipe? Felipe, that was a good article you wrote. Felipe, that was a good article you wrote on Edward, by the way.
Oh, I appreciate that. I enjoyed talking to him. He's a great guy, great player. Speaking of your players, I mean, in your system, you've got players that can play across that front three, whether it's Diego, Carlos, or Brian. I mean, how important is it for the system to have that profile of player like Diego that if you want, you can play him centrally, you can play him wide positions, really whatever the game dictates he can do?
It's important. We do play with 3 attackers, but we want them to be active. We want our wide attackers to have ideas on how to come inside. We work on mixing up their positions when they play a little narrow, when they play more from outside in. And all those guys are talented players, able to take the ball when there's advantages and dribble, and real threats when balls turn over to be on the move. And we still think that it's an important part that when we win balls, that we want to make sure that we're getting those guys on the move and going through the defense. And so we did a much better job of that tonight than we did in the playoff game last year. Last year we had a lot of possession against Seattle, but we weren't enough of a threat throughout the game.
Next question goes to Alicia Rodriguez. Alicia, your line's open. Go ahead.
Thank you. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Alicia.
I wanted to ask about what I thought was the turning point of the game, which was right after Seattle's goal. Kenneth Vermeer made a pretty big stop there. Did you see that as kind of a turning point in the game as well? And was that kind of the response that you were looking for from one of your goalkeepers? Obviously, you went with Kenneth tonight.
Yeah, it's a big save at an important time. And when you have a game and you've put a lot into it, you've had so many chances to go to 3-0, and then you've not cleared a ball, and then all of a sudden it's 2-1. Then there might be a moment where you need a big play. And so I thought on that end, Kenneth came through for us, and that really gives the group confidence when a goalkeeper comes through like that.
And last question is going to go to Charlie. Charlie, your line's open. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening, Bob. Could you share a few observations on Diego Rossi? Is he in the best form of his LAFC career, and what evolution have you seen from him of late?
I've talked about it earlier in the tournament. I mean, Diego has been a really good player every year, but he's grown he's improved. He's worked really hard on his finishing. His ability to take balls on the move, to make runs through the defense. He's relentless. And I think all of us just feel good about how he's continued to develop. Again, I mentioned the finishing because he's worked really hard at it. And tonight was a night where even he said to me after that he had more chances. But he's an excellent guy. One of the things that we talked about after the Portland game is still how on the field we have a young team, but leadership from Mark Anthony, leadership from Edward, Eddie, Diego, that those guys got to really step up more and have personality and hold other guys accountable. And Diego has really grown to handle that kind of a role.